Hi, I'm Christy.
And I'm Ted, and we're parents to 3 kids, 4-year-old twins and a 1-year-old.
We also both work at Colugo, a baby gear startup for a new generation of parents. Ted's the founder, and I'm Chief Parent Officer and General Counsel.
And on this podcast, we're going to take on the big moments in parenthood and make them feel less daunting and more doable by sharing what worked for us and what didn't.
Maybe you'll like what we did, maybe you'll decide to do the opposite. Either way, we hope it helps. And today, we're continuing our series on parenting during a pandemic because that is the parenting challenge we're all facing together. And we're going to talk about celebrating a holiday during COVID. So let's get started.
So a little bit of background.
Yeah.
We recently celebrated Easter with our 4-year-old twins, Fritz and Lark, and our 1-year-old babe, Lynn. And, typically for us, Easter is an egg hunt at home and then brunch with both sides of the family. And it's really like the one time a year where, both of our families all get together. We go to a restaurant. Really it's great. I mean, it's great because everyone lives close by. And so we all drive to like a restaurant that's the same distance for everyone. And, the kids get like somewhere between 1 million and 1 billion Easter baskets and pieces of candy from their uncles and grandparents and aunts and all. So, I mean, it's great. It's a great holiday for us.
Yeah, and it's funny to think last year Wynn slept hard through the whole brunch. He was little biddle. And it was helpful to have that extra grandkid to pass around. Grandkids are in very high demand at the brunch. And I think this year we would have incorporated church into our morning too. I've started going to this children's service with the big kids, and Wynn is just about old enough that won't fall right in his nap. So we'll look forward to that next year. Of course, this year, Easter looked different. I do think it was helpful that it fell kind of a little bit over a month into us on our stay-at-home order. So the kids didn't even ask to go out. They weren't really fazed by that. We did still dye Easter eggs.
Yes, we did.
It was a little bit more fraught than in other years, which we will discuss later.
If there's time.
But we did that.
And we still had an Easter egg hunt.
Yes.
So, Fritz got the most eggs by far, but he was all about just scooping up any egg he could find. Lark, on the other hand, was really after the high-value eggs. Yeah. So she, realized that some of the plastic eggs had Cheerios and others had candy, and so she'd go around, shaking them to see which ones had candy, which kind of slowed her down a little bit. But she also helped out our babe, Wynn, because she would end up giving him the hard-boiled dyed eggs because those were, the lowest of low value.
Yeah, she does not like those.
No, but so everyone won.
Yeah, and the kids still got 1 million Easter baskets and pieces of candy from grandparents. Each set of grandparents came by, very kind of them, with presents and baskets for the kids. Ted wiped everything down. We had a nice, socially distant chat with them. And then we did Zoom calls. Well, a Zoom call and a Facebook portal call with both sides of the family. My family in the morning, Ted's family in the afternoon after nap or siesta, as the big kids call it. They hang out in the same room reading books very loudly for 2 hours, and it's truly a miracle.
Well, I just House of Cards. It's all going to come crumbling down one day.
It is how our life works, is that they are willing to do that every day. So now we can turn to more details into how we celebrated. I will say also we did eat a lot of candy.
Very important. Yeah. We ate way too much candy. So let's go.
Before Lark went to bed the night before Easter, she said to me, Mom, tomorrow's a big candy day. I was like, yes, Lark, you are truly my daughter. Okay.
Well, all right, let's talk about what worked.
Yeah, okay, let's talk about what worked.
So the first thing that worked was
getting dressed up. Okay, so we are not the best about baths in our family, and quarantine has not improved that for us. It's really hard to fit it in the day somehow, which doesn't make sense, but it is.
Yeah.
So on Easter, we put the kids in the bath right away. We got them dressed for our Easter Zoom call with my family, and we took pictures before the call, which was key. And I asked Ted to take pictures with me and each of the kids, and I don't have a lot of those. And I will say, Ted is very good at you can't see his face, but he is smirky. He's very good at a portrait mode.
Mode, and I get along really well.
Yeah.
Other modes, and I do not. But
they were great pictures, and it was awesome to have
I'm
those.
happy they're good. But, getting dressed up made things just a lot more festive.
Yeah.
I think. It also helped extend the celebration a little bit beyond the 3 minutes of egg gathering.
Yeah, they're quick.
This is it felt like a holiday. We would have gotten dressed up to go out to brunch or church or whatever. So it was good.
Yeah.
And little kids in dress clothes is like super cute. Lots of great Instagram content. And, it's like dress clothes for them are like, a short sleeve button down or whatever. But like it brings us a lot of joy to see them dressed up.
Yeah. Lark picked a leopard print dress. So that was awesome. And she wanted to put on her own tights, which like killed 20 minutes. It was great.
I'm pretty certain they were backwards all day.
Yeah, Fritz is also the best dresser in our house, so this was like a standard day for him. All of his button-downs were in the wash because he wears them every day as part of a construction worker outfit. He would have worn his construction boots if we went outside.
And he would have asked me to wear my fluffy construction boots, yes. Which are my Uggs.
His fluffy construction boots.
And I would have happily worn them.
Truly awesome. We were really only dressed up for about an hour, but it was worth it on all fronts. Except for Fritz, of course. He stayed dressed up all day. Naturally. Number 2 thing that worked for us was embracing the video call. So honestly, when everything moved to video, like, video Zoom circle time for the kids, a lot of wonderful online content at first just made me very sad to like engage with, but we have started doing more video calls with the family. I've done virtual happy hours now weekly with my high school friends, which is
you guys are great about that.
Amazing. Yeah. I think we're gonna start dressing up for them.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Themed
costumes.
Yeah. So I'm kind of like turning a corner on this, and I feel like the holiday really brought into focus for me how important these are and how much of a connection you can still get.
For Easter, we didn't quite go like full thematic.
No.
But we did have video calls with both sides of the family, and it didn't really even feel like a call. It was just kind of like we were hanging out, like people in and out of frame. We just kind of like relaxed into it, different like conversations going off in different directions, and like really we had some really great people on our calls who were like the leaders in the case of the conversation with your family, like your parents, and they just like kept the conversation going as people like chased children around and things like that. So they were great. Yeah, I got to see my new nephew Nick's cheeks for the first time, like truly are amazing. And so I think by changing my mindset, that will really help going forward, because these video calls are only going to continue. Well, I guess we did have at least 3 things that worked. Yeah, number 3. So 3 is related to those video calls, and it's filters on the Facebook portal. Yeah. So just like following up on the video calls, we want to plug the filters on the Facebook portal. That sort of like, they take it to the next level. They help you level up your call. And we use them on our call with my family, and it just like totally transformed the call. Yeah, Ted's sister Katie led the way, and Katie turned herself into a bunny, and I heard Lark's belly laugh, which is just, you don't hear that often, and it's just truly delightful. Yeah, sure. So just so pure, like so delighted. It took the pressure off of any sort of conversation. We all just laughed and like picked different filters. So it was a lot of fun. It was great. It was towards the end of the day. Like it was so light. It was just, it was great. And think what you want about Facebook and whatever, but like the portal is it's the best device we've found, because like the kids can move around and the camera just like refocuses on them. Yeah, like, that is really nice. You don't have to worry about the chaos and like keeping people in the frame, and it's just another way to hang out with people on video, get some time together. So we've really liked it. Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, that's enough of stuff. You know what? I think we're done. I think that's all the time we have. So turning to what didn't work for us, number 1 here is not opening the egg carton. So just to preface this, I will admit that I do have these panics when I approach holiday planning, where I'm suddenly like, oh, we're really behind. I divide up and assign tasks to myself and to Ted, often very early before Ted has had coffee. But on the other hand, if I did not do this, the holiday would not get planned. So very true. So, very true. Balance. So I asked Ted to be in charge of getting white eggs and egg dye. So hard jobs, but I assigned them to him like the Tuesday before Easter. And I checked in with him on the Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday before Easter, and he was like, yep, everything's fine. We're all set. Totally no problem. Under control. Yeah. But it was not fine. Yeah, I mean, I kind of made a few assumptions that were erroneous. Not that were very, very thin. Yeah, I didn't really fully open the carton of eggs until Saturday.
Right, so to be clear, there was a carton of white eggs in our fridge, but I knew there was only one egg in there, which is why I had asked him to get more eggs.
True, but I only saw it from the front, and so you could kind of see the one.
Right.
You could see a white egg in there. I was like, oh, it was on the bottom of the stack. Must be full. It was not. So it wasn't the high point of our holiday planning process.
No, Ted did end up going out in a mask and getting us some white eggs, and his mom came through with getting us some food dye and vinegar.
Thank
so
you,
it all
Beth.
worked out.
Yep.
But, and in the end, we only ended up dyeing 6 eggs. Our kids don't really eat them. They like what Fritz calls a flat egg, which is a fried egg, which has caused some confusion on grandparents' parts when we do sleepovers.
Yeah.
But yes, flat egg is a fried egg, obviously. No. And then they like that or scrambled. And when I was growing up, we used to dye a lot of hard-boiled eggs, and inevitably we could not find one of them.
This is one of my greatest fears.
Yeah. My dad, a.k.a. the Easter Bunny, is a very good hider, even ultimately from himself. So we've always kept those numbers small to not run into that same problem.
Yeah, I think we're taking the right tack here.
Yeah.
So that wasn't a highlight.
Not the highlight. Okay, number 2, being quarantined with all of the candy. Oof. So I think this is less of a problem for Ted. You're more of like a Raisin Bran ice cream guy, as like...
Yes, my vices are fairly lame.
Yeah, and I'm actually very pro candy. Like, I used to eat so much candy when I was working my first year at the law firm. I would throw away the wrappers in the bathroom instead of at my desk because the woman who came and emptied my trash, I would be embarrassed. I knew her, and I was like embarrassed for her to see all my candy wrappers every day. But honestly, now I feel like I'm more hungry after I eat a piece of candy than before. I think I'm just getting old. I can't hang.
You're a full-on adult.
Yeah, so we have a lot of candy.
We do, and we need to figure out something to do with it because we had a small office to begin with, and now like we're working from home.
Yeah.
And so if it's in the house, like you'll eat it, I'll eat it. Like kids are happy to help us out, but like as we may have mentioned, their grandparents, aunts, uncles are very generous. And so like, and we're not giving candy to Win either because he goes nuts over it, or as we would say in our family, nutso bo butso.
Nutso bo butso. Kid loves candy.
Yeah,
but
so
it just is like too much.
So please, like, if anyone has any ideas, help us out because
it feels bad to just throw it away.
We can't.
I can't do that. I can't throw away candy. All right, number 3 here is, this may be a recurring theme in our podcast, but
getting played by a 4-year-old.
Yeah,
and so like this isn't like Christy said, it's not really holiday specific, but. Our 4-year-olds are smart, take after their mom. And our daughter, Lark, in particular, is super strategic, as we mentioned, with the eggs. But her, whole approach to Easter was super strategic this year. So, the day before Easter, she started to tell us that she was absolutely certain that the Easter Bunny would bring her a pedal bike. And so she just didn't stop telling us. She's like, hey, you want to know something exciting? The Easter Bunny's bringing me a pedal bike. So how could we not get her one?
We couldn't. We caved 100%.
Did she have any idea what she was doing?
Folded like a cheap suit, I
don't know. I mean, we absolutely caved, of course.
I know. So we had the REA kids bike page pulled up when they came downstairs for breakfast. We let them pick their color between pink, blue, and white. So Lark got her pedal bike. And honestly, Fritz got one too. So maybe he is just as strategic as her. He let Lark do all the work and he still got it right.
I know. He's either free riding or pulling strings or whatever. Either way, he's doing just as well as she is. So that we got played, and I would anticipate that coming back up in future episodes.
Yeah. So that's what we have. That's how we celebrated Easter. I hope these tips and tricks are useful and translatable to other holidays. And we'd love to hear from you too. And we will be back after a short break. Hi, Christy here. I wanted to take a minute to talk about Colugo. I have exciting news to share. Our fan favorite Wild Child and Cool Gray compact strollers and comfort sets are coming back in June, and you can pre-order yours now. The Wild Child is the perfect leopard print, and the Cool Gray is a gender-neutral dream. This means that if you're new to Colugo, you can reserve these colors now for your new compact, and if you already have a compact, you can refresh your canopy and comfort layer. To pre-order, head to www.highcolugo.com. Now, back to the show. Hi, we are back now for our Have You Tried segment, where we answer a listener question. And this week's question is, do you have any tips for celebrating an anniversary during COVID? Ties in really nicely.
We actually just did this. Yep. Our 7-year wedding anniversary was April 13th.
That's wild.
And we said happy anniversary to each other. We did
say happy anniversary to each other.
And like, I think just generally we were kinder to each other than like even we are normally.
Yeah. We leaned into the kindness.
We leaned in. And like, our days are such a handoff back and forth right now. Like, we're working from home with 3 kids to take care of. We take turns, and you do the majority of the childcare during the day. And then after the kids are in bed, like 7:30 now, a lot of times, like, we clean up and then we work again. And so like maybe one night a week, we'll watch an episode of something. Shout out to Tiger King. But like, that's where we're at.
Right. And so honestly, our best tip here is maybe to just let each other off the hook of an official celebration. Ted, you had a dinner planned, right? And the day of...
Yeah, the ingredients are still in the pantry.
So we still have the ingredients. And, you know, he was just like, it's not going to happen from a timing perspective. And we talked about celebrating the next weekend. But, like, one night I had a happy hour with my high school friends over Zoom. And then we have a podcast to record. And it's just hard to find that dedicated time. And I think... So... if you can, when you know, on an anniversary, it's like a nice excuse to be extra kind and to say the nice thoughts in your head out loud and to avoid saying the not as nice thoughts.
Yes, keep those to yourself.
Right? Like, it made for a very pleasant day. And great. Maybe that's enough. Like, there are a lot of great ideas. I saw an article in the New York Times about virtual date ideas. And, like, that's wonderful if that resonates for you. It made me feel, like, kind of tired to think about having to plan that sort of thing right now. And that's okay, too.
Yeah, I mean, like, we also just, you know, talk about what we're going to do when we can get back out and about, as our kids say, you know, like, I mean, we really ramped up our dating there before this whole thing. I know. And so, like, you know, we can talk about, like, where we're going to wander to or back from if the babysitter lets us, you know, like, and
yeah, we like to walk around on our dates. We like to walk wherever we're going so we can have a nice walk back too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we'll go back to Audrey Claire, right? Yeah, like, we'll get back there. So even that I think is nice to do.
Yeah. And it's really not a time to be putting more pressure on yourself. No. I mean, if you're parenting without a partner, you are truly doing the most.
Yeah.
But if you do have a partner, you are also doing a lot, both of you. And it can be like the best way to be there for each other is like, let's not add one more thing. Let's just do the best we can and support each other. So I think that's our best advice here. And that's what worked for us. And maybe it will work for you.
Yeah.
To just kind of reframe it a little bit. Yeah, so that's what we have. Again, we would love to hear what's been working for you and what hasn't. That's all we have for today. To share and to also ask us questions you'd love to have us answer, we would love to hear from you. You can head over to Colugo's Instagram, which is @HiColugo, @HiColugo, and you can comment on today's post. Our music was provided by Sound Planet. Our awesome producer is Aaron McGregor. We're Christy and Ted from Colugo. We'll be back soon to share more about our adventures in parenting. Until then, remember, you got this.